Hey everyone, welcome back to another night of devotional as we look into what the Bible says about money. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. Just a quick announcement before we go into tonight's devotional. Starting next Friday, there will be a live Zoom meeting for those who are interested in meeting with me and talking about or asking questions based on what you have heard and saw on the Friday night devotional. That will begin next Friday at 7:30. The videos for these Friday night devotionals usually come up at 7 p.m. on our church's YouTube channel. And so after you watch it, if you can bring some questions or you're curious about something or you're not sure, I'll be there at 7:30. I'll send out that link to you. Or you could ask your parents, it'll be sent out to your parents as well, where you can meet with me. We get to kind of see each other a little bit and also kind of talk about what you've just heard on the Friday night devotional for that evening. So that starts at 7:30 next Friday. I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, let's get started tonight. Last week, we learned the characteristics of a wise worker and how ultimately our work is for the Lord. Tonight, we'll talk about how God blesses wise work. If you guys can turn with me to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. That's Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. We'll be actually going through quite a few Bible passages tonight, so please have it ready. You have a physical copy of a book of the Bible. You have it online on your phone or on your computer. Doesn't matter. Just get it ready. So Proverbs 10:4 says this: a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Now, when it comes to wealth, people tend to go to one of two opposite extremes. Some make an idol of riches and are willing to sin in order to get wealth. But the Bible warns that God will not bless the sinful gaining of wealth. Turn with me to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 2 this time, and it says this: treasures gained by wickedness do not profit, but righteousness delivers from death. God judges those who make themselves rich by either exploiting or tricking their workers or doing it in a sinful way. Turn with me to James chapter 5, verse 4. James chapter 5, verse 4 says this: behold, the wages of the laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, are crying out against you, and the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. The fact that some people get wealth sinfully should not lead us to the other extreme, and that's condemning all who experience material success. People who may be going through some money problems or issues can be tempted to become sinfully envious or judgmental of those who are experiencing, success or wealth. But God often blesses those who work wisely and well. God blessed many of the great men in the Old Testament, such as Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Job, David, and Solomon, and many more with material wealth. Now, there are practical blessings to having wealth. Practical blessings. Remember Proverbs chapter 6, verse 8? Let's go to that. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 8. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 8 says this: go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. Like that ant, a wealthy family is able, through their savings, to survive when things are not going so well. For example, the situation that we're in right now. when they don't have a job for the time being, or when there is an unexpected major expense such as car repairs, medical bills, or something you have to pay a large amount at one time. The wealthy person is also blessed to enjoy more of the good things that God has created for our enjoyment. Now, wealth also allows us the privilege of being generous to others. I'll say that one more time. Wealth also allows us the privilege of being generous to others. Read 1 Timothy 6:17 through 19 with me. As for the rich in this present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. When Paul addresses the rich, he does not condemn them for being rich. He doesn't point fingers at them, oh, you guys are too rich. No, he doesn't say that. Or he doesn't forbid them from enjoying the fruits of their labor, or tell them to give up all their wealth and live a life of poverty, like sell their home and live on the streets, or sell all their food and give it away, and yet they starve. Well, he's not telling them to do that. But he warns them and encourages them to use their wealth, use their riches to the glory of God. How? By being generous to those in need. I know a former businessman, who I still know today, who became a missionary and is still a missionary today. Now, he still did business and he still does business, but his income was now used more for others and not for himself. You might be able to help others get jobs, benefit the community through your work, but more importantly, give to the Lord's work. Perhaps for you, in the future, God has called you to work a certain job instead of ministry in the church or missionary work wisely, so that you can generously support those whom God has called to do church ministry or missions. Realizing this affects how we look at our wealthier brothers and sisters in the church as well. Rather than envying them, we should give thanks to God for how God uses, hopefully they do, uses their generosity to further God's kingdom. Some reflection questions for you to kind of think about, kind of ponder about from tonight's devotional is, the first is, how do some Christians look down on those who are rich? Or maybe look up to those who are rich? We'll make it personal. How do you look down or look up to those who are rich and wealthy? Second question to kind of think about is, what are the responsibilities of those whom God has blessed with earthly wealth? And lastly, just a scenario to kind of think about. There was a wealthy man who made a goal of giving $1 billion to the Lord's work during his lifetime. Question to think about then from that is, what is your goal for using the wealth that God gives you over the course of your life? Think about these things. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's devotional. I hope you guys are looking forward to next Friday, where another devotional video, and we'll start our live meeting for about 30 minutes to kind of talk about what we learned on that evening's devotional. All right, guys, take care. Peace.